Welcome to talkersofgeeks.com. Justin here with Sean, and today we are going to be reviewing episode 1 and 2. Thankfully, because we're back at it. So we got a new Marvel show. So we're going to be reviewing Marvel's Secret Invasion. And as always, I give you a brief synopsis of the show. So here we go. Nick Fury learns of a secret invasion of Earth by a faction of shape-shifting Skrulls. Fury joins his allies, and together they race against time to thwart an imminent Skrull invasion and save humanity. So, Sean, we're going to talk a little bit about episode 1 first, and then episode 2. This will contain mild spoilers. I won't go too deep into. I won't talk about the ending too heavy of episode 1. Actually, wait, well, we really can't. So yeah, this is going to contain spoilers. Sorry, spoilers. So spoilers for episode 1 because we do have to talk about that death scene.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts of episode 1? I loved it. I really did.
I liked it. In the beginning, I was a little apprehensive. Anybody who's read the comic book would be a little apprehensive because we all know the entire point of Secret Invasion was the kidnapping of the superheroes and replacing them. And
Yeah.
I just give you a little background of I didn't read Secret Invasion until it was almost over. And I kind of got introduced to Secret Invasion by accident. That's weird to say reading comic books. I got introduced to it because I was actually reading an X-Men comic with the X-Men going after Apocalypse, and he had a new acolyte of death. So the entire thing, the comic was good for me. And then when it got to the end, Death kills Wolverine. So I was just like, okay, I was like, it's kind of BS. Nobody kills Wolverine. And when the X-Men bought Wolverine's body back, it turned into a Skrull. So I was just like, what the fuck? I was like, yo, they replaced Wolverine with a Skrull. So when you get to the end of the comic book, you find out when the X-Men unmask Apocalypse's death, it's actually Wolverine. So I was just like, well, how is this possible? And then a friend of mine because I had taken a while off, I wasn't reading comic books for a while, life, school, everything else. Friend of mine was like, no, you got to read the entire Secret Invasion story arc. Like they've been replacing all the heroes. So I actually went in, picked up the books and read Secret Invasion, and it was a great story arc and series. So when they announced that they were doing this for Disney Plus, I said, there are a lot of things you can do with this. Number one, you really get into this. There's a lot of traps that you can put into it. Like, what happens how do you bring Tony Stark's back if you want to bring him back? Well, Secret Invasion. What happens if this Tony Stark's that died during Infinity War and Endgame was not Tony? It was actually a Skrull. A lot of the heroes that disappeared, are gone or dead. What happens? Another question: what happens if Coulson isn't Coulson who died in the first Avengers? That he was replaced with a Skrull that wasn't a clone or anything else. I didn't really watch all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to the end, so I don't know if they answered that question. What happens if a lot of the heroes that are gone, what if they're Skrulls? Because Nick was supposed to have a relationship with them and find them home. So one of the things I said was I didn't know how I was going to feel about this series because there's too many working parts into it. And if you're into the comic book, you might be disappointed. Well, after the first episode, I kind of said, like, you know what? I'm going to give it a chance. And it was really good.
Yeah.
And the storyline they put up together was really well done and really good.
It made sense for what
Yeah.
they're doing with the
universe. Especially it made sense for the MCU.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, I can kind of throw out my entire comic book knowledge of Secret Invasion, and I'm going to go with this because I think I'll enjoy it better just seeing where this goes. Now, that being said, after the first episode, and we'll get into the second episode, I think they are going with a lot of elements from the comic book. I think they are adding stuff to it. They're going to introduce, and when we get to the second episode, I'll tell you what I see them adding. Um, seeing scrolls that are like key figures in the United States and Congress. And I
Mm-hmm.
guess when, you know, one of the questions I want them to answer is how much PSTD did Nick Fury go through after the snap?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't seem like he's himself at all.
At
Like
all.
it
No.
feels like the snap affected him so much, and that's like kind of the main focus that he's no longer the Nick Fury we all know. He's no longer the leader or um the guy that always has an answer or a countermeasure for anything anybody's doing. It just seems like he's a shell of himself.
Yeah.
So I love that in the storyline that Nick Fury isn't Nick Fury. He's going through way too. He doesn't even have the eye patch in the series anymore.
Nah.
You
You
know,
see
like
you see you see that cat claws now.
yeah, like he's rocking the damaged eye throughout the whole thing, and
Yeah.
I think that is cool because it also says a lot about where his mental state is.
Yeah.
Um, his relationship with Talos,
Yeah,
his
tails.
his relationship with him is a little strained. His relationship with all the Skrulls that were there are in the beginning are a little strained, and that is the most interesting part of this series. Like they're pissed, and Nick Fury doesn't even have an answer like he used to. He's just like, fuck it, let them do whatever they want until he realizes what they're doing, and now he's fighting to take care of it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, for me, I like. I mean, I know, like you. I didn't finish it, but I did read a bit of Secret Invasion a couple of years ago, and I thought it was a brilliant concept because it reminds me of a classic film, Invasions of the Body Snatchers. You know, where they will take your body and replicate. Um, for me, just because my saying when it comes to the MCU is like it's you got to watch this in chapters. Like anything they do, you gotta watch it as like an installment of a book, like as a chapter of a huge book. Obviously, this arc is the multiverse book. Um, what I really like about it, just from a character standpoint, is the fact that Nick Fury is we get into see a more vulnerable Nick Fury, a Nick Fury who is not as headstrong, who is not really this leader of Shield. He is a broken man who has a broken promise, and I like how you can't really side with him because
yeah,
he fucked up. He really did. He fucked up royally, and the Skrulls are pissed, and they have the right to be. Like episode one, he's just like, "Yo," the first scene, he's just like, "You help me, I'm gonna help you find a new home."
and I think that's the consensus of everybody. Like
Yeah,
nobody's mad at the Skrulls for what they're doing. They all realize, like, yeah, yo, Nick, you fucked up, bro.
yeah. Like I can't fault the Skrulls for what they're doing. So it's kind of like, and that's one thing I like about this one. It's just like, who can you side with? Like, I mean, Nick Fury, is he wrong? Is he wrong? Yeah, but I mean, with the Skrulls' action, the way they're taking it is wrong. But you can't really fault them from it. You could go like, and I understand, like I get it, and I thought just the way it is, it does keep a mystery here because we'll get to episode 2 in a second, but it's keeping this mystery. You do not know who the Skrull is because in episode 2, Talos reveals like when Fury snapped, he called all remaining Skrulls to Earth. And it's
Yeah,
1 million of these motherfuckers. 1 million Skrulls is on Earth right now. You don't know who's a Skrull.
yeah. And if Talos was following the
Yeah.
same logic Nick was, he had them change into human form
Mm-hmm.
do what they have to do. So just imagine like they've been living among us for 30 years.
Yeah.
You know, like well, actually what the snap was
But
5 years.
5 years. So 5 years.
So
Yeah.
for 5 years, millions of Skrulls have been living among us
Yeah.
in the
So,
present time, you
yeah.
know.
Some roll with the dude who's the general now, and some because I forgot his name, but and then some are rolling with Tails here. And I gotta talk about the ending of episode 1 with the death of Maria Hill. And I have a theory about Rhodey too, because I was discussing this with my friend. I have a Rhodey theory. First I want to say the Maria Hill death, I loved it. I was shocked. I did not expect it. We don't see the we do see that they did bring back the body and everything else, but we
We
never
see
get
the
to
coffin, we
visually.
don't see her.
Yeah, we see a coffin. We don't see her. It's possible she was a Skrull And the thing is, they don't pan afterwards. Sam leaves. They don't pan back to her. Maybe she changed. Maybe she didn't. And so we don't know if she's a Skrull or not, or was a Skrull. So that's number one. Um, and just a little bit of episode 2 with Rhodey. I think that's a Skrull.
I
Just
think so
the
too.
yeah,
And that's been a theory over the internet for a while. Everybody thinks after that scene, Rhodey has been a Skrull for the entire time.
yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine's, and I was saying, what if Rhodey actually died during Civil War during that landing, and a Skrull replaced him?
I don't think no, Rhodey lived through that. I don't think that's when Rhodey was replaced. I think if you're gonna say anything, Rhodey was replaced during the hospital while he was in the hospital.
Yeah, or during Iron Man, between Iron Man 1 and 2. That's why we explained the cast change of the.
Well, that would be funny to explain the cast change, but I
I mean, a
think
very meta.
yeah, I think he might have been replaced. I think he might have been replaced. I'm gonna say he was replaced after Civil War, and
Mm,
he was replaced in the hospital because even though Tony gave him the technology to be able to walk right now, Rhodey seems to have healed a lot faster, and it
yeah.
could be that Nick took Rhodey and replaced him because he, like he needed Rhodey out there, and Rhodey needs years to heal, not
Mm,
just months or whatever Tony got him, whatever exoskeleton Tony created for him to be able to walk. He might need years.
mm.
Also, here's a theory that um, might be crazy that what if Nick is a Skrull?
That is also true.
You know, what if Nick Fury isn't the reason why Nick isn't the same way he is because he's actually a Skrull also. He's actually, with
There-
it. I would hope the Talos can tell.
There's rumors that his wife at the end of episode 2 is actually a Skrull. Like he
Yeah,
married a Skrull.
you know, which would be on brand for that.
Yeah,
It makes sense. But it's there's so many moving parts to this series that for the first time in a while with a Disney Plus series, I'm actually excited every week to watch it
yeah. Especially
because
for a Marvel show.
yeah, and I almost hate that it's 6 episodes,
Yeah,
but what I do love and kudos to Disney for finally putting the rated R rating on shows
yeah.
and understanding that everything can't be PG-13 and you need to start seeing
Hmm.
violence, blood to keep a different, not just keep the kids, but bring in that adult audience to sit down and watch. Hey, look at what they're doing with this. I mean, one of the scrolls of the British agent when she cut his finger off, I was just like, oh shit.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
like she looks at him, she said, now that we know who you are. And obviously she knows something about their biology because when he was like, go ahead and put it in my arm, she was like, no, 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 we're not going to put it there. She knew exactly where to inject the serum
Hmm.
so that he would feel it. So, um, this series has. I'm just a little more upset that it's only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
So right now, by next Wednesday, we're going to be halfway through the series. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where this is going. Happy that it's an hour. But this is a series, to be honest with you, they could have 6 episodes, they could have made the series an hour and a half.
Yeah. That or
None
13
of them
episodes.
drag. Yeah.
That or 13 episode series.
Yeah. Because none of the episodes drag. You
Mm-mm.
literally, like, there are times I'm sitting there and I'm like, holy shit, it's over? What do you mean? It feels like it just started.
Yeah.
So cool. Like, I don't know, because a lot of people are critical of Disney stuff and they're just like, well, I haven't heard too many bad reviews
Yeah.
about it. I think Secret Invasion is one of the things universally everybody likes. I know if Jarrell was here, he would be like this, but I watched Jarrell's review and he was kind of spot on with some stuff with like, yeah, I get why the Skrulls are pissed. I get
Yeah.
why this happened. I get, what they're all going through. I think they're going through some crazy measures, but one of the spoilers I do think people, if you haven't got it by now, they're actually taking a thing like you can see the beginnings of them making the Super Scrolls.
Yeah.
That's if anybody, I hate to spoil it for people, if you don't realize what he's trying to do, they know that because, throughout the first two episodes, one of the things they say in the second episode, he said, what happens if they start to call the Avengers and other heroes in?
Mm-hmm.
They're not ready. The Skrulls are powerful, but they're not ready for like Thor or Captain
Yeah.
America if he's not de-aged by now, or even
Or Thor.
Falcon. I said Thor, Falcon, or
Yeah.
the Hulk. If he's up there, they're not ready for all that. So how would they be able? And we're just talking about the Avengers that they know. We're not forgetting that the MCU has also started introducing the other heroes.
Yeah.
Like what do you call it?
Kate Bishop.
Shang-Chi,
Mm-hmm.
the what do you call it? Iron Fist, Cage. Luke Cage is still around. Jessica Jones,
Daredevil.
Daredevil. They're not showing them, but they're still around and they're protecting their cities. Say Spider-Man is still in the MCU. He's not
Mm-hmm.
going to be a slouch for anything. We haven't gotten introduced to the Fantastic Four, but let's just assume they're in the MCU right now as it is. So, what happens, and also, for big surprise, not big surprise, but we do know they're gearing up to give us mutants. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
that's an entire can
And
of whoop ass that they're not going to be able to deal with at all.
and not to mention, if you saw Ant-Man, there's a King Skrull too. So
Yeah. So, you know,
so the Conquerors all like that. I mean, that's a great way to tie in the Conqueror in this way, in this whole thing too. So that King Skrull, he's out there somewhere too. So it's a
mm,
whole lot of stuff they could go. That's what I'm really, like you said, I'm waiting because I have theories, but what direction will they go? That's the question.
well, we all know this is supposed to probably set up Secret Wars.
Yeah.
So, you can just imagine what Secret Wars is going to be like. Now, I don't think Secret Wars is going to be what the comic book
Mm-mm.
version of it is, either Secret Wars 1 or 2. I would kind of hope it was Secret Wars 2, because I think Secret Wars 2 and not Secret Wars 2 from like the 90s. I'm talking about the more recent 2000 Secret Wars with
With
Doctor
Doom,
Doom.
yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping with the battle planets, and I would hope they kind of go with that one, because that one would be more for this day and age. Maybe that also introduces the symbiote to Spider-Man
Mm-hmm.
in this one. It does a lot. So there's so many theories we can come up with that. We can only just wait and see. And I think that's the exciting part about it.
Yeah.
Let's wait and see how everything ties in. And you also got to remember, um, Disney Plus also has a load of other shows that are supposed to come in. Wonder Man is getting his own show
Yeah.
to come in. They still haven't answered anything about White Vision, and
Yeah.
that's supposed to be a show on its own. So,
And we still got Loki coming.
yep,
So
and there's
we
a
get
lot of
the
things. So,
Marvels movie.
yep,
So a whole lot of Marvel content in the way, folks.
yep.
So I'm gonna give this a thumbs up. I say everybody, you need to watch this one. If I'm gonna rank it, this is slowly, surely becoming my favorite MCU Disney Plus show.
Yeah.
That's just me. I love the aesthetics. I love the more dramatic thriller element here. And I love these type of mysteries of like the body snatcher elements, because I'm a huge Invasion of the Body Snatcher fan. So I love that type of concept going with this.
And the espionage. And can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Shout out to the black man argument that Nick Fury and Rhodey had. Like, yo, that okay. I want to give props to Disney for bringing, because they said a lot in that conversation
Mm-hmm.
that needed to be said, and it was just like one of those like, oh no, you didn't
Oh yes, they
conversation.
did.
And they did. And shout out for them having the bravery to bring that out, because Rhodey says some things that kind of sounds like it kind of made him, yo, Rhodey, so you siding with the house, huh? Like but he kind of but Rhodey kind of cleaned that up, like, especially the when he said, we didn't come this far to give to and work this hard to turn all the power we have all the power we amassed to a mediocre black man. I mean, Nick was like, so you did all this and we could turn it over to a mediocre white man. But he was like, yo, we didn't do all this to do that for a black man either. Like, like Nick was questioning Rhodey's black card. Not so much, but like, because I know people will probably hear this and be like, no. I'm just saying he questioned his loyalty to where we are. You know what I'm saying? Right. As a people, he questioned it. Like, you know what I'm trying to do and you're not going to help me out. And I think that was kind of some of the point of it. Like, I'm doing this and you're not going to help me out. You're not going to help a brother out.
Like, and Rhodey was like, you can't play that card with me, bro. Like, yo, I helped you out plenty of times. And this time you fucked up royally. You gotta take responsibility. You can't play the card now, brother. That's the point that killed me. Was like, brother. At the end, I was just laughing my ass off.
Hey, yo, let's give Rhodey props because when he was in that meeting with those world leader meetings and they were trying to intimidate him, he was like, yo, my man, say that one more time. I'm gonna come in here and carpet bomb his entire, like, yo, he was not for the shits at that thing. He was like, he looked more annoyed that he had to answer the questions and how condescending they were, more than he wanted to be diplomatic. Because when he opened his mouth one more time, I'm gonna come up here and carpet bomb this damn place. And I was just like, yo, say it again, brother. Tell him.
Because he's like, yo, I'm about to go get the suit and just light this place up.
Respect for him for that. Like, and respect that scene. That's probably gonna be one of my favorite scenes throughout. Like Don Cheadle, chef's kiss for that entire scene, bro. Right.
But we're gonna wrap this up, folks. What did you think of Secret Wars episode 1 and 2? Comment below, let us know. Thank you for watching us here on otakusgeeks.com. If you're watching us on the YouTube channel, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Very, very important. Whole bunch of reviews coming. We have a bunch of con coverage coming. We got Sweet coming on the way. I have MetroCon and Otakon coming on the way. So we got a whole bunch of events coming. Screeners, a whole bunch of stuff coming. So definitely stay tuned. Keep it locked. We got interviews as well coming. You'll find out who they are. So we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you for your support. Later days. Peace.
Later.